Afternoon guys, welcome back to another video with the All Black fan page, and it's as usual me Max hosting the channel. Today I'm going to be discussing how the All Blacks could line up for the 2023 Rugby World Cup, and in this video I'm probably just going to discuss the forwards. That in the following video I'm going to cover how the backs could possibly look like in 2023. This is a scenario providing that Foster's contract is extended as head coach and Plumtree's contract is extended as assistant coach. And I'm going to select who I think they are going to pick for this video. I'm not going to chuck out my opinion in this video, because at the end of the day my opinion doesn't really mean anything in terms of selections, and their opinions mean everything, and I don't really think there's any way the media is going to sway these guys, eh? So first off, I'm obviously going to discuss the hookers. So Dane Coles has hinted that he might be retiring at the end of 2021. So I'm thinking Samisoni Taukei'aho from the Chiefs is going to jump in and get a cap, and provided he's not injured, he'll make the 2023 World Cup squad, but as the third choice. And Asafo Aumua and Cody Taylor will of course be ready to take over, and I'd say Cody Taylor will still be starting by 2023, but Aumua is going to start replacing him quite early in the second half, because by then Aumua will be at the peak of his powers and he'll be so destructive off that bench, mate, and I can't wait to see the guy go. The props on the other hand, Joe Moody I think might have retired by that point. His contract with the Crusaders goes to 2022, but much like Wyatt Crockett, Joe Moody will be 34 at that stage, so 2021 this year could perhaps be his last year as an All Black, as 2022 is his last year as a Crusader. And if he's not going to extend that contract, well, in 2022 there's not really much of a point selecting him for the All Blacks, is there? So I think Moody might retire now that he's played 50 tests and he's done everything he's been able to do for his country, unless of course he wants to go on and be a 35-year-old in the World Cup, which obviously is unlikely because prop is a very tough position to play as, especially as you get older, unless you are John R4. Anyway, barring Moody, I do think the rest of the five props are going to stay the same. I can see Nepo Laulala, Offa Tu'ungafasi, Tyrell Lomax, Karl Tu'inukuafi and Alex Hodgman all going in 2023 if they're not injured or retired by that stage. I think a lot of them are a class act, and they'll just need one more uncapped loose head prop to join the ranks. George Bowe is likely going to be too old by that stage, and Atu Moli's had quite a lot of injuries and hasn't played for the Chiefs this year, so I'm kind of worried right now that Atu Moli might soon retire because of his injuries, and if that happens that would be really sad to see. So I'm thinking maybe the loose head prop, the third choice at that World Cup, is going to be somebody uncapped right now, and I suspect the guy might even still be at school. Onto the locks. Now, Sam Whitelock is obviously going to go. He's been a tremendous athlete over a long period of time for the All Blacks. I have so much respect for the man, and honestly, mate, I don't see any reason that he's not going to go all the way and fulfill his contract. I don't see him ditching his contract before it's over, and my goodness, I just have so much respect for Sam Whitelock. I think Scott Barrett will continue to play the way he's been playing, and I think Scott Barrett will go as a lock-loose forward hybrid, so that means we're only going to take a single blindside flanker, because obviously Scott Barrett can cover that position. I then think Tupou Va'ai and Patrick Tuipulotu will go, and I believe that Whitelock and Tuipulotu will continue their combination as the starting two locks. I think Tupou Va'ai might beat Scott Barrett to the bench though, because I don't see any harm in continuing the development of Tupou Va'ai. The guy's good enough to keep going, and I don't see any reason why he's not going to overtake Scott Barrett. I know a lot of you really want Brodie Retallick to come back, but I unfortunately don't believe Brodie's going to come back. The guy's been a monster in Japan, and he's been scoring tries like crazy, but the issue is he's always been such a physical player, and while it got him to the top very early at a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old, I can't remember which one he was, unfortunately long term it started to decay his body and his ability to play. He may have won World Player of the Year a long time ago, but because he's been so physical and so hard on his body, it's starting to make him a lot more brittle, and I'm unfortunately thinking that Brodie Retallick might not feature at that World Cup due to an injury or some form of early retirement. And regardless of whether or not he does manage to come back, I'm very thankful for what Brodie Retallick's done for the country. Now, as I was saying before, I think there's only going to be one blindside flanker at the 2023 World Cup, and I think that blindside is going to be Cullen Grace. Cullen Grace may seem to prefer playing at number 8, but I think a third position switch in a few years is a bit far, so I'd like to see Cullen Grace continue going rather at blindside flanker, because I don't actually think he's big enough to be a number 8, but I do think the young fella could be world class at 6, and he could really become one of those bruising players, and maybe he's going to be the long-term replacement for Jerome Kaino that we've been looking for a long time. I do think that Hoskins Sotutu will go as a number 8, but I do think Ardie Savea and Sam Cane will still be starting by that stage, provided they're still there, and I think Sam Cane will retain his role as captain if Ian Foster is still the head coach. Now, they're going to need a third open side flanker, since they've got Grace, Sotutu, Savea, and Cane. And so that third open side flanker, I believe, is actually going to be Tom Christie, who's currently uncapped. Dalton Papali'i may have a very good highlight reel, but I think Tom Christie's far better at performing the basics of his role, and Tom Christie's really that guy who will always do the unnoticed work, and he's really developing, in my opinion, into a new Matt Todd for the Crusaders. He plays very much like Matt Todd and Richie McCaw, and although he's never going to be as good as them, I think Tom Christie should be the third choice going into 2023, and I'm sure Ian Foster's taken plenty of notice of Tom Christie, as he was in the South Island team for the North vs South clash last year. So that's who I believe is going to be the forward pack for the All Blacks in the 2023 Rugby World Cup, barring none of these players are going to get injured. I'm sure my picks aren't 100% correct, and I'll probably do another one of these videos closer to the time ahead of the World Cup if my YouTube channel hasn't been banned for, quote, stealing footage, even though it's under fair use terms by that stage. I'm so thankful for all the support you guys have been giving me lately, and the channel's just been totally blowing up, so thanks so much for all the support and stuff. Make sure to head down and follow on Instagram, and check out the Patreon, give us a like, subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching the video and stuff, and I'll see you later, okay guys?